the letting go, right? So this might be the other side of it. This is, um, can we give up control? Which is so hard as a human. And I think what I find is when I'm working with younger athletes, especially, and honestly, this is my senior folks with Deloitte as well. We start with embracing challenge. That's the first, I think, important part to understand. But you can't finish unless you know how to let go. We can only grip on so tight and try so hard. The word grit, I love the idea and the theory behind it. I hate what it's called. The other piece of this letting go, right? So I'm 50, right? So Michael Jordan was like the prototypical athlete when I grew up. And does anyone remember what was Michael Jordan's mouth doing when he was competing at the highest level in the most critical moments of a game? What do you remember about his mouth?
The tongue.
Yep,
Yes, it's coming out.
right? Talk about letting go, right? He was not holding on tight and death gripping anything. He was, again, like this system one. He was trusting in his skills. He was getting into his eyes and getting out. He was simply just letting go and performing, and c'est la vie. What happens, happens, right? We talk about in our golf app of, right, to be willing to miss is kind of a proactive version of this acceptance. Um, Let me throw out another question. I think this is a fun one, that kind of bridges a bit of the embrace challenge and let go. And maybe in the chat, I'd like people to answer this and maybe rank these for me 1 through 4. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 scenarios. And Simas, this will be a tennis one. Let me drop a tennis one on you because I actually have a great tennis story that this layers into. So from a tennis perspective, I'm going to give you 4 examples and I want everyone to rank these 1 through 4. Okay, so option A, you hit a nice big serve. You catch your opponent off guard. They just kind of block it back in play. So a short ball comes. Inga, the short ball comes. You're salivating all over it, right? So you run in, which is exactly what you should do. You do catch it in your strike zone, though, Inga. You're a little bit patient. You wait and you catch it right in your strike zone. And you hit it nice and deep into the court. It's an appropriate risk. Okay, you're not taking a dumb risk here. It's an appropriate risk. You come in, your target is about 2 feet inside the baseline. You put the ball away and you win the point. Okay, so this is kind of that approach motivation style, right? You nice big serve, you're playing out your game plan, you're living out your
Dream
values,
scenario.
you finish it off. Okay, that's A. B, nice big serve, short ball comes, you dink it in. You're just like, oh God, I need to win this point. I need to win this point. It's match point. Please, please, please win this point. You just dink it, and then your opponent blows it even worse and hits it in the net. You win the point. That's B. C, nice big serve, short ball comes, the same approach as A. Okay, you're nice and assertive, you're coming in, you're living out your values, you pick your target, you swing away, but oh gosh, you miss it 6 inches long. You lose the point. That's C. D is the same as B. You go passive, right? So nice big serve, short ball comes, you dink it, but this time you dink it, and because you're not using speed and spin, and the ball just flies out of the court, and you miss it 6 inches long. In the chat, please, rank for me. How would you prioritize these? What order do they come in? So A is the assertive, you win the point. B, passive, you win the point. C, assertive, you lose the point. D, passive, you lose the point. So A and B, you win. C and D, you lose.
What do you mean in the ranking?
So from your favorite to your least favorite.
Favorite.
Right? Yeah, from your favorite to your least favorite. What's your preference?
How do I want to
So
lose?
Montes A, C, B, D. Okay. Okay, so I think everybody's kind of in the same, right? So, which I love. Here's a little nuance to this, by the way. I have one female tennis athlete. She is 5'0". Okay, you look at this girl, and I mean, she's a brick though. She's strong, but she's not a physically tall, intimidating athlete. She was an All-American at the University of Georgia for 3 straight years. She ranked them A, C, right, as most of you did. Then she goes D, and she puts B last. So remember, B is the one where you win the point in a passive way last. She goes, Matt, can I curse Inga on this? Just to
For
use her
sure.
language.
For
She goes,
sure.
Matt. She goes, Matt, I don't want to get away with that shit. She goes, I want to get pegged by the ball if I am not playing my style of tennis. I do not want to win that point. I want to get reminded, no, that is not how you play. Go back to the baseline and do it again. I think a little extreme, but I love this. This is this values based, right? This is that I'm going to embrace a challenge. I'm going to let go. I'm going to prioritize all of these things over an outcome. This is essentially what we're trying to coach in sport and in business, right? So this is what's called approach motivation, right? Meaning I'm going to go for my stuff and not in a reckless, crazy, stupid way. I'm going to take appropriate risk. I'm going to take the things I've learned over the years and I'm going to try them. Right? So, Simas, I'm going to ask you too. We have your student right here. How is Inga at trying new things in a match? Right. So this is hard, right? In sport, you work on your lessons. They're not quite comfortable yet. We probably haven't fully integrated them into our game yet. Would you encourage her to try those and use those things in a match? What's your take on that?
She's trying with the big stress.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's trying uh, very. Sometimes it's very hard with the big emotions, or
Yeah.
because it depends of a drill, and
Yeah.
sometimes with a big
Yeah.
save, not
Okay.
sure. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a lot of players.
And this is what we do, and I think we don't live all in one or the other, but I think it's this idea of hopefully we nudge ourselves towards the go for it. I kind of I'm going to learn. Worst case scenario, I'm going to learn. It's going to hurt my ego a little bit, but I'm going to learn. um so that's a biggie, and we'll get to maybe the compete with, and I think this is also big, the environment. The compete with, the last one, has to do with the environment, which also I think dictates how courageous we are or are not. um so we'll kind of get to that one. But in business, right, I think this is also the letting go is such an important part, meaning like we give others autonomy, right? As a leader, we can't just control everything and do everything for ourselves and the way we want it done. We have to be willing to give up that control and let others grow their confidence, and us as leaders to show them as well that I trust in you. I want you to go for it, right? And back to this will be part of the compete with thing, right? But and that I will support you through it. So, right, that's I think just also a big part of our leadership.